Hey, is it true that like everywhere else in the country, before you dig, you see the signs, call like, what is it, 411 or whatever, the utility company comes out and makes sure you're not digging into a power line or a sewer line or whatever. Is it true that in New Jersey, they have a special number for you to call so that before you dig, you find out whether you're going to dig up any bodies or not?
Oh, come on. That's all Hollywood.
Well, I thought Jimmy Hoffa started that trend when they didn't check underneath Giant Stadium before they built the thing. They could have found him after all this time.
Again, that's all myths. He wasn't even from New Jersey. I think we're getting a bad rap there.
What? No, I didn't say he was from there. I just said he ended up making it his everlasting, eternal resting place.
There's no evidence that shows that. Why am I defending the people that murdered Jimmy Hoffa?
Never been proven. Apparently, they were from New Jersey.
I don't know that, and you don't know that.
And you feel so.
And you shouldn't incriminate them. That's not right on a public forum like this.
I should not incriminate unnamed people from New Jersey that may or may not have ever existed, but probably did, and probably put Jimmy Hoffa underneath the Meadowlands.
Slander Connecticut. Go slander Connecticut a little bit. Come on.
Oh, I've slandered Connecticut on a regular basis, a variety of times.
What do you think of Maine?
It's quiet. I've been to Bangor, but I almost killed her. But I've been to Bangor, and is there another town in Maine? Give me another town in Maine. I just spent a lot of time in Maine.
What about Vermont? You got a problem with Vermont?
No, that's where Bernie's from. I like Vermont. It's a cute little place. Burlington, Vermont was a cute little building. We did a WWF TV taping there in 1990. I believe it was 3. It was early on, either 3 or early 4. And the custodian there told me that was the first building, which this makes sense, that Andre the Giant worked in when he came to North America, because at that time it was run out of the Montreal office, Burlington, Vermont. You just hop right over the border there. We had to take a ferry boat to get to the town to do the WWF TV taping. Actual ferry where you put your car on the goddamn boat, or elsewise you had to drive like 3.5 hours around a deal. I can't remember the exact logistics.
So which states would you say you firmly have a problem with?
Well, I'll tell you what, some of these states that I've formerly enjoyed electing some of these politicians, you never know, but no, Connecticut, between the traffic, the prices, the pollution, the confusion, and also the reason I was there, did not make a great impression on me, but it sure didn't to most other people. I remember JR actually got to work that into his heel promo when they tried to switch him heel. And I moved to this overpriced hellhole. The phrase overpriced hellhole was used to describe Connecticut a lot amongst the entire Southern contingent of employees that worked for the WWF, save Bruce Pritchard, who had become a convert and wasn't going to actually knock anybody anyway. But everybody else, oh boy.
So that's one state you hate.
I didn't say I had a problem with New Jersey. I just said they planted Jimmy Hoffa underneath the Meadowlands, and you started trying to, like I had insinuated that your Uncle Guido and his cousin Nunzio had personally done it.
Well, Jim, but what other states do you have a problem with?
Why do you keep wanting me to malign? There's good people in most states. Then there's Republicans.
No, but forget about politics. There are certain states you may just hate. Every time I go through Delaware, I'm like, oh, this is a dump. I can't wait to get out of Delaware. And luckily, I'll be out of Delaware in about 2 minutes.
Well, I like Delaware because it's not easy to get, or not hard to get across. Again, New Jersey with the traffic and those parkways and turnpikes and your highway system, it's chaos, and I'm not a fan. And those rest areas named after famous Revolutionary era heroes, the Clara Barton rest stop is a little bit much.
Well, you can get Nathan's.
Unless Clara's going to be there blowing you, there's no reason to stop there for the rotten fucking food and the week old Sbarro. That's apparently is what passes for Italian up there on in the rest area circuit. Come on. Here's another one. To be perfectly honest with you, we went to Iowa one time, and I wasn't knocked out. I wasn't blown away. I haven't been there much, but it didn't leave a lasting impression on me. Have we got anything we can say about the Iowans?
Have you been to every state except Alaska?
No shit. I figured it out. I've never worked in Hawaii, but I've been there.
Right. That's why I said been to.
But as far as working, I figured out that I've never worked in Alaska or Hawaii or one of the Dakotas. And I'm trying to remember, was it Wyoming? Shit. I had it marked down in my book years ago when I just decided to keep track of it and count up, and it meant something to me. And now it's been so long I forgot. But it's one of those statistics I like to keep. But yes, I've worked in about 46 or 47 states. I can't remember exactly. And then I've worked in British Columbia, Alberta, Winnipeg, obviously Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and one day in New Brunswick. Do they have any other peripheral Canadian provinces over there in that end that I'm not thinking about? Did I skip anybody?
Maybe. I don't know.
I will say this: Winnipeg is the Kansas City of Canada.
Really?
Take that as you will.
Why is that?
There was something to remarkable about every place else in Canada. Vancouver is like the Canadian San Francisco. I loved Vancouver, and it's a nice city, and it's on the water, and a blah blah blah. Calgary had the Hart family history and legacy, and the wrestling fans there, and I was there for that. The Tin Man, what do they call it?
Stampede.
Canadian Stampede. Thank you. The pay-per-view. And what a crowd. I tell you, what a crowd. Ontario, obviously, Toronto, my God, the Sky Dome, or the Rogers said, those big crowds and, major business. Montreal, once you get past that pesky little screw job. And I didn't enjoy the signs are in French, and it'll give you a headache trying to figure it out. I didn't enjoy reading the road signs, but Montreal wasn't bad. And Nova Scotia, at least it had, well, some redeeming quality in that it wasn't a big city, and we had to sit there in the hotel for 2 days. So we've told that story because that was the famous production meeting with Kevin Dunn. However, Killer Carl Kroup's wife was running an escort service in town that weekend, and so it wasn't as miserable and lonely for all the boys sitting there for 2 days as one would think. And the scenery is beautiful. There's just not much city there, but it's a lot of scenery, a lot of beautiful, mountains and rivers and lakes and things.
Did he do any work for her business? Did she utilize that face as like an enforcer or anything? Or was he just,
I think he'd
retired by that point?
He'd passed away, I think, by this. Yes, by this point. She was significantly younger than you would have thought she would have been. So I have found newfound respect for Killer Carl Kroup all those. But anyway, so there was something to be said for pretty much every major market in Canada. I won't go into Newfoundland and New Brunswick. We just passed through there, but Winnipeg was just pretty fucking bland. Just pretty fucking bland. Sort of like it was kind of like an AWA town. It's in the Midwest. It's out there. It exists. I wasn't a fan of Winnipeg.
All right. This has been The States and Provinces with Jim Cornette.
What? This all came from Hoffa? This all came, now we've slandered part of Canada as a result of you trying to take up for New Jersey.
You're saying Jimmy Hoffa's in Canada?
No, all right. We're not doubling back on that bit. Folks, I'm feeling better. I'll feel a lot better shortly.